The Nintendo 64 library was packed with races, but few aimed for realism. Among the karts and arcade thrill rides, one game stood apart for me. A rally racer with weighty handling, dynamic weather, and long tracks that truly tested players. It wasn't the most popular game on the system, but Top Gear Rally carved out a niche as the Nintendo 64's grounded, challenging racer. Released in late 1997, Top Gear Rally arrived relatively early in the Nintendo 64's lifespan. Though it shared a name with Kemco's Top Gear series on the Super Nintendo, this was a complete reboot, trading flashy supercars and arcade nitro boosts for rugged rally vehicles and a handling model built around control and precision. The game was originally conceived by Boss Game Studios as Ultra Rally, before Kemco stepped in to rebrand it under their existing Top Gear name. It turned out to be a smart pairing, one that gave the Nintendo 64 something it didn't have much of at the time: a serious driving experience. In 1997, PlayStation owners were spoiled for choice with racing games. On the Nintendo 64 though, racing mostly meant arcade-style fun. Mario Kart 64, Cruisin' USA, San Francisco Rush. Top Gear Rally immediately stood out for its emphasis on control, grip, and terrain awareness. With two-player split screen and surprisingly deep car setup options, it was a tough but rewarding experience that demanded focus. It didn't click with everyone, but for players craving a more methodical racer on the system, it found a place for itself. The most important thing to know about Top Gear Rally is that it actually feels like a rally game. You're not just steering left and right, you're sliding through corners, cutting over curbs, and fighting to find grip on muddy tracks. There's a real sense of traction and risk that most racers on the system never even attempted. That all comes from a surprisingly advanced physics engine for its time. Each car has weight, and every surface behaves differently. Switching from tarmac to gravel to deep mud isn't just visual, it completely changes how the car responds. The same corner that feels smooth on a sunny lap can turn into chaos once the rain sets in. Before each race, you make setup choices, tyre type and suspension stiffness, and they actually matter. Slick tyres and firm suspension are perfect for smooth circuits, but when the weather turns rough, grippier tyres and a softer setup become essential. It's a simple system by modern standards, but in 1997, it added a layer of authenticity few expected. The Nintendo 64's analog stick made all the difference. Its precision was crucial for a game this demanding. You could even fine-tune handling sensitivity before a race to match your driving style. That level of control was rare in an era dominated by digital D-pads. As you slide through corners, tiny steering corrections become vital. Early on, the cars can feel twitchy and prone to oversteering, but once you find the rhythm, it all clicks. You stop thinking about controls and start reacting instinctively, reading the terrain, feathering the throttle, positioning the car just right for the next bend. While most Nintendo 64 races lean towards arcade-style fun, Top Gear Rally asked more of the player. It punished mistakes, but rewarded patience and precision. Top Gear Rally's presentation matches its grounded gameplay, more restrained and realistic than most Nintendo 64 races. Whereas games like Wave Race 64 were bright and energetic, this game uses muted colours and subtle lighting to enhance the driving experience. At the time, that subdued look was seen by many as a drawback, but viewed now, it feels intentional. A design focused on atmosphere and immersion, headlights cutting through fog, rain-soaked roads glistening under overcast weather. detailed cars that remain readable at speed. Everything serves the gameplay first. Performance can dip slightly in wide open areas, and it's not the prettiest racer on the system. But the impressive draw distance gives you a clear view of upcoming corners, crucial when there's no navigator shouting directions. Sound design is hit and miss. Engines are thin and collisions lack impact, but the soundtrack more than makes up for it in my opinion. Critics called it repetitive, but to me, it's perfectly tuned. Mellow, rhythmic, and almost Amiga-like. Music that keeps you focused without overwhelming the race. Sounds straight out of Keygen, right? Just like its gameplay, Top Gear Rally's presentation won't appeal to everyone. But for the right player, it nails the tone it's aiming for. For an early Nintendo 64 title, Top Gear Rally offers a solid amount of content. The main championship mode has you unlocking new tracks and cars as you progress. There aren't many tracks overall, but each one is large and challenging, with weather adding real variety. Dynamic conditions like rain, fog, and even snow force you to adapt your driving and setup every time you return to a course. That unpredictability keeps the races fresh and engaging. You're racing against 19 AI drivers, which makes for some chaotic moments as you weave through traffic and fight for position. It's surprisingly intense for such a technical racer. The cars aren't officially licensed, but their designs clearly draw from real rally icons. The paint editor even lets you create custom liveries, a great idea, even if the analog stick makes it a little fiddly to use. Multiplayer is limited to a 2-player split screen, no 4-player option here, but what's included feels focused and complete. For fans more interested in mastering technique than chaos, it's a rewarding package. Beyond its presentation, Top Gear Rally deserves credit for what it accomplished technically. The Nintendo 64's cartridge format limited audio fidelity compared to CD-based consoles, but it enabled faster load times and solid visual performance. Its draw distance was one of the best on the system, crucial in a rally game, where being able to plan corners ahead can make or break a run. When fog does appear, it feels like a deliberate weather effect, not a hardware limitation. Performance is generally stable too. The frame rate only dips in slightly open areas, and never enough to hurt gameplay significantly. That smoothness is essential. Without it, the realistic handling wouldn't feel fair. Top Gear Rally is proof that the Nintendo 64 could handle grounded, physics-driven gameplay when developers pushed the hardware right. A remarkable achievement for Boss Game Studios so early in the console's life. Revisiting Top Gear Rally reminded me why it stands out. Even decades later, it remains exciting, challenging, and remarkably immersive. It only took a few laps to readjust to its unique handling, and soon I was sliding through the jungle track's muddy corners like it was the year 2000 all over again. The limited number of tracks is easy to forgive once you realise how much depth each one offers. They're large and complex, and the changing conditions keep them feeling alive and unpredictable. I never minded revisiting them during the championship mode, because each run offered new opportunities to experience different lines, setups, and shortcuts. Modern races like Forza Horizon or Need for Speed Unbound may have bigger worlds and flashier visuals, but they share the same DNA, that drive to give players a distinctive feel through physics and control. Top Gear Rally was an early step in that direction, and it still holds up far better than you might expect. On a console best known for arcade-style fun, Top Gear Rally offered something different. It quietly pursued realism through thoughtful design choices, and in doing so, became one of the most distinctive races of its generation. It may not have earned the spotlight, but its quiet ambition still shines through. For anyone who loves finding hidden gems on the Nintendo 64, this one's well worth revisiting. And seriously, try playing it without tapping your foot to that soundtrack. I dare you.